Alaikum, welcome to day 101. What I thought I would do would be to just do a quick reflection of how things have been over the first 100 days or so. And not so much in terms of accomplishments, but just sort of a reflection of feelings, progress, and things that I've learned about myself and about sort of working in this environment. So I think it's a good juncture to try and do that just as the sun is setting over here in Pakistan. So Alhamdulillah, it's been a very fascinating 100 days. I've really enjoyed the 100 days, and so my reflections are mainly in two parts. One is just looking at the challenges around work, and the other one is just in terms of personal challenges and things that I've learned. So certainly around work, I think the challenges that there have been are threefold. One around people, one is around sort of the agencies or the different people we're collaborating with, and other things are institutional or structural. So in terms of the people, there's and I've mentioned this before, there's a culture and their professionalism isn't as what we've been used to, certainly not I've been used to in my recent working life. I don't find the same strive for excellence amongst a lot of the colleagues. It is there, but it's not that widespread. There isn't that autonomy in decision making. People don't feel empowered to make decisions. I don't get the same sense of professionalism amongst colleagues. There is this concept of things being a government job, and that has its own internal, external issues around how people relate to them, how people do those jobs and discharge their functions. Also, sort of people-wise, things are very protocol-driven, and that's a mentality that is sort of seeped through around what is the right protocol. And there is not much of an understanding of organizational change or systems change. That is really lacking. And then also linked to that is a lack of vision, a lack of people marketing their what they do and the opportunities that are around. There is that sort of paralysis almost, and I'll come on to that when sort of talking about the institutional challenges, structural challenges. Things are a lot more process focused, more than outcome focused. And again, I'm sure the UK was like this, a few years back. And linked to that, there isn't this sense of succession planning and leaving things behind or equipping other people to do the things within in the same environment. So there isn't that same investment in talent. Things are quite inflexible organizationally, that very hierarchical silo, lots of silo working, years of under investment and under resourced structures and systems here, and the sense that things aren't routinely absorbed into the normal ways of working. Things have to be done separately through planning commission 1, PC1 applications. And our work is hampered by the lack of public health structures, and people aren't able to. It's a long list. I'm just going to go through the list there. People aren't able to translate plans well into how to change and implement things. And again, there is this sense of organizational paralysis that is tolerated throughout the systems, and as I mentioned, the lack of autonomy, lack of decision making, an averseness to making decisions, and for fear of the risk associated with that and accusations that could fly. And the third part of the work challenges around collaborative working. Things are very territorial here. There is some degree of playing partners off each other. And people still have the donor-recipient mentality. And this sort of is reinforced by a lack of coordination amongst the agencies, no concept of multi-sector working, and a failure to recognize that actually combined working with the agencies is synergistically better for everybody. And again, managing people's expectations in this environment has been really challenging. So that's on the work side. On the personal side, things that I've I've learned or I can reflect on. Again, there are four main domains. I would say there's a domain that looks at myself. There's a domain that sort of looks at sort of my family links, my health and well-being, and how things are at work. So starting off with the family, I've been really privileged to have such a supportive wife and children, lovely family that have allowed me to do this. I wouldn't be able to do this without their continuing support. And I thank them for that. And it is a big sacrifice for everyone. And it's important that I realise that to keep up with regular communication, despite the distance, and to express that sense of connection and love and commitment, and to make that sort of an integral part of how I spend the days here, and the same with family. And this process of doing the vlogs has been sort of key to that. So, showing, demystifying what's happening here, and giving a sense of accessibility to my life and my challenges for my family, and it's principally done for my family. And then being able to enjoy those quality moments, especially when I went back over Christmas. The visit was fantastic, alhamdulillah, and spending time with family, and also spending time with close friends, and those people who made an effort to bring some tranquility. Haters are going to hate and just leave them to themselves, but having that sense that close friends and close family are the ones that really care for you, and it's reciprocated, has been very important in how I deal with things. And so that's helped me to sort of discover who I am as a person as well, the type of person. I'm definitely learning or re-equipping with new skills or old skills like cooking, trying to find time for myself, and making an effort on these things. They're making an effort to change, and making an effort to show some progress because of these opportunities, and not being in a stagnated form. So maturing in some way, and hoping that I'm a better person, and then trying to push myself to develop different relationships, being an introvert, how to deal in a completely new environment with colleagues, and to sort of carve out some sort of quasi social existence. Other things that I mentioned were stuff around work and health and well-being. So again, linked to what I've just been talking about work-wise, it's been important for me to realize that I need to understand people. I need to understand their work and their systems before I can do anything. And it has taken a couple of months at least to get to that position. I underestimated that. And so it's important to know the history of things, the barriers, the challenges, the successes that are around, and to ask people, not being afraid to ask people, and ask them to break things down and not to live on assumptions or your own biases, and that's been a really important lesson for me. Linked to that is the importance of listening, the importance of being visible, being accessible, and that's been key in trying to build relationships, and keeping alive the sense of why I'm doing this, the vision behind this, and reminding myself of that periodically has been very important. And also realizing, giving confidence to myself in my own role and experience. Things that I take for granted in this environment, I need to give permission to myself to recognize that I do have some expertise that I should be proud of, and then being able to demonstrate that leadership. And also the importance of good communication, importance of knowing the cultural nuances that I'm working within. And this has been something that's dawned on me more recent times, is just being realistic about what can be achieved, okay, and sort of being more temperate about my approaches. And then the other domain that I've sort of learned more about is the health and well-being side of myself, not just the spiritual side, developing a better relationship with myself, with family, but with God and the whole spiritual side of things, a sense of self-reliance, And part of this process has been to acknowledge the blessings that there have been in every day, acknowledge the things around us, and look for positivity in every day, in the experiences that I've come across. So that in itself has been a very therapeutic process for me, where each day is different, and recognizing that and being thankful for that, as well as the other sort of things about sort of just making sure I maintain my sort of physical activity, do my exercises, sort of my mental state, giving time for myself, and recognizing all of these things, and building up my own resilience in this very alien bubble and environment. Having necessary distractions that are purposeful and not sort of completely wasteful, and finding that balance of busyness. But quite importantly, and I'll finish off this, it's just staying positive, and believing in that positivity both internally and portraying that externally, because you don't want to drag other people down, especially family who've made a sacrifice. It is about, even when things don't look so good, believing in that and staying positive about it. So these are sort of some of the things I just wanted to quickly reflect on, and I might write them up a bit as well over these first 100 and 101 days. But for those that are listening, thank you very much. And inshallah, do remember me in your du'as. So catch up soon, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.